What should I make a video on this time? Maybe you can work on that one video I suggested long time ago? A long time ago? Alright. Done the machinist video. Yeah, that's great. When are you gonna make a white mage video?
I'm gonna kill you.
That's it! I'll make a warrior video! Just roll the intro. Blessed with immense strength and resilience, while cursed with chaotic, almost uncontrollable animalistic urges, the axe-wielding warrior easily cleaves swaths of its enemies. Through further honing of its skills learned at the Marauders Guild, the warrior becomes a true beast, dispatching its foes with brutal savagery. Let's take a closer look at this berserker powerhouse by first looking at its role and job-specific mechanics. Let's start with the warrior's tank stance. The warrior, as well as the paladin, the dark knight, and the gunbreaker, all play the role of the tank, the most durable member of any party. The tank is tasked with holding the attention of its enemies, sparing its more vulnerable allies from most damage by generating more enmity or threat than its companions. To help with this, each tank job has its own respective tank stance ability. In the warrior's case, this ability is called Defiance, learned at level 10. While Defiance is active, the warrior's attacks all generate extra enmity. Unlike its previous iteration, having Defiance active no longer increases the warrior's maximum HP. To compensate for this, the warrior has access to the level 1 trait Tank Mastery, a trait it shares with the other 3 tanks. Tank Mastery reduces all incoming damage by 20%. And now let's move on to the Beast Gauge. This is the Beast Gauge. When the warrior earns the level 35 trait, the Beast Within, the warrior generates the resource, Wrath, which is tracked by this Beast Gauge. Wrath is consumed as a resource to perform a certain set of actions known as Beast Gauge actions, which I will go over later. The warrior generates Wrath when landing certain skills in their weapon skill combos. Let's go over these weapon skill combos now. The warrior has one area of effect or AoE weapon skill combo, as well as 2 single target combos. Let's start off with the 2 single target weapon skill combos first, which both start the same way. Starting these combos off is Heavy Swing, a simple attack learned at level 1. Following up for both combos is the weapon skill Maim, an attack learned at level 4. Additionally, Maim generates 10 Wrath points for the Beast Gauge. The 2 combos diverge from here, with the first combo ending with the level 26 weapon skill, Storm's Path. Storm's Path not only deals decent damage, but it also generates 20 Beast Gauge points and restores a small amount of the warrior's HP. The second combo on the other hand ends with the level 50 weapon skill, Storm's Eye. Storm's Eye generates 10 Wrath points and also grants the Storm's Eye effect, which increases all damage the warrior deals by 10% for 30 seconds. Let's now go over the AoE weapon skill combo. Starting this combo is the level 10 skill, Overpower. Overpower damages all enemies in a cone-shaped area in front of the warrior. Finishing this combo is Mithril Tempest, learned at level 40. Mithril Tempest deals damage to all enemies within a 5 yalm radius of the warrior. If the warrior is currently under the effect of Storm's Eye, Mithril Tempest extends the duration of that effect by 10 seconds, up to a maximum of 30 seconds. While we are on the topic, let's go over the remaining weapon skills. At level 15, the warrior learns Tomahawk. Tomahawk is a ranged attack that also has an increased enmity effect. Next up, we have the first Beast Gauge action that the warrior learns, Inner Beast, learned at level 35. Inner Beast is a single target attack that deals a decent amount of damage at the cost of 50 Wrath points. Upon earning the trait Inner Beast Mastery at level 54, Inner Beast turns into the level 54 Beast Gauge action, Fell Cleave. Fell Cleave is a significantly more powerful single target attack that also costs 50 Beast Gauge points. Steel Cyclone is next and is the second Beast Gauge action learned at level 45. Steel Cyclone attacks all nearby enemies at the cost of 50 beats gauge points. Upon earning the Steel Cyclone Mastery trait at level 60, Steel Cyclone becomes the level 60 beast gauge action, Decimate. Decimate is a slightly more powerful version of Steel Cyclone and also consumes 50 Wrath. Cleave and Decimate each have a more powerful form while under a certain ability's effect. Which leads me to the next segment, the warrior's abilities. Let's go over the offensive abilities first, starting with the ability that I was just alluding to. This is the level 50 ability, Infuriate. When used, Infuriate grants 50 beast gauge points. This ability can also be charged up to a maximum of 2 charges. Upon earning the level 66 trait Enhanced Infuriate, scoring a hit with Inner Beast, Steel Cyclone, Cleave, or Decimate reduces the recast time of Infuriate by 5 seconds. Furthermore, when the warrior reaches level 72, it earns the trait Nascent Chaos. With this trait, Infuriate now grants the Nascent Chaos effect. While the Nascent Chaos effect is active, Decimate and Cleave change into 2 different beast gauge actions. Decimate turns into beast gauge action Chaotic Cyclone, and becomes significantly more powerful. Furthermore, Chaotic Cyclone is guaranteed to score a critical direct hit on all enemies it successfully hits. Upon the warrior reaching level 80, the Nascent Chaos effect also turns Cleave into Inner Chaos, an immensely more powerful single-target beast gauge action. Just like Chaotic Cyclone, Inner Chaos is guaranteed to score a critical direct hit on any single enemy it successfully hits, delivering a devastating amount of damage in a single hit. Now let's take a look at the remaining 2 beast gauge actions. Up first is Onslaught, learned at level 62. Onslaught is a light damage gap closer with a relatively short recast time, costing 20 Wrath to use. Upheaval is the last beast gauge action that we will examine. Learned at level 64, Upheaval does a good amount of damage while costing 20 beast gauge points. Let's now move on to the level 6 ability, Berserk. While under Berserk's 10-second effect, all attacks are guaranteed to deliver direct critical damage. When the Berserk Mastery trait is learned at level 70, Berserk becomes the much more powerful ability, Inner Release. Inner Release allows all beast gauge actions to be performed without cost, which is perfect for delivering 5 powered-up Cleaves to the enemy's face. Inner Release also renders the warrior immune to stun, sleep, bind, heavy, and most knockback and draw-in effects. Let's move on to the defensive abilities. At level 30, the warrior learns Thrill of Battle. For 10 seconds, Thrill of Battle increases the warrior's maximum HP by 20%, while also restoring that amount increased. Upon earning that enhanced Thrill of Battle trait at level 78, the warrior gains 20% increased HP recovery from all incoming healing actions while under Thrill of Battle's effect. Next up is Vengeance, learned at level 38. Vengeance reduces all incoming damage by 30%, while also damaging any enemy that hits the warrior during the effect's duration. At level 42, the warrior learns Home Gang. Under Home Gang's effect, the warrior cannot be brought down to less than 1 HP for 6 seconds. Home Gang also roots the target enemy in place unless it is immune to movement impairing effects. Up next is Raw Intuition, learned at level 56. Raw Intuition reduces all incoming damage by 20% for 5 seconds. Skipping ahead a couple of abilities, Raw Intuition shares the same recast timer as the level 76 ability Nascent Flash. When applied to a target party member, Nascent Flash bestows the Nascent Flash effect on the casting warrior while placing the Nascent Glint effect on the target party member. Through Nascent Flash, the warrior absorbs a portion of damage it deals as HP, while through Nascent Glint, the target party member's HP is restored half of that value while also receiving 10% incoming damage mitigation. Backing up a bit, let's take a look at Equilibrium, an ability learned at level 58. Equilibrium restores a significant amount of the warrior's HP, giving the warrior an excellent emergency heal if things don't go according to plan. Finally, we come to the level 68 ability, Shake It Off. Shake It Off places a barrier around the warrior and all nearby party members equaling to 12% of each party member's respective maximum HP. If the warrior has any of the Thrill of Battle, Vengeance, or Raw Intuition effects currently active, each will be dispelled, increasing the damage absorbed by the barriers by 2% for each effect dispelled in exchange. And now, I would like to show you the opener I personally use. I will first demonstrate how it looks like, and will follow up with an explanation of what I did. Here we go. Okay, now to explain what I did. To start the fight, I used Tomahawk for some range damage to start as well as a boost at Enmity. I've even Infuriate to gain 50 Wrath and to prepare Inner Chaos. I start my weapon skill combo with Heavy Swing. Next, I follow through with Maim. I finish off the combo with Storm's Eye to give myself a damage buff. I next use Inner Chaos, which I prepped a little earlier. I weave in Infuriate to again prep for Inner Chaos. I use a second Inner Chaos next. I now weave in Inner Release and enter the Inner Release phase. I start this phase with Fell Cleave, weaving in Upheaval for some heavy extra damage. I use another Fell Cleave, weaving in Onslaught for additional damage. I proceed to use 3 more Fell Cleaves, which ends the Inner Release phase. I follow up with a weapon skill combo starting with Heavy Swing. Next, I use Maim. I finish this combo up with Storm's Path for some minor HP recovery and more Wrath points. I perform one more combo starting again with Heavy Swing. Again, I follow up with Maim. Lastly, I finish up with Storm's Eye to refresh my damage buff. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a thumbs up and sharing it with your friends, as it helps the channel out tremendously. It also lets me know whether you enjoy this type of content or not, and will help influence the type of content I create in the future. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel as well. Your support would be very much appreciated. Thank you again, and until next time, take care and have a great one.